I think it's important that Muslims know how to handle knowledge. And a lot of the Islamic rulings and then the things that we're supposed to do, the hukum and all that, right? These things are derived from sources, right?
Yeah.
In Islam, we believe that the Quran is the word of God. So the Quran is one source. And then there are also other sources, like for example, the Hadith. And then there are also other sources, like for example, the ijma of the ummah, the ulama. In other words, the consensus when they agree on something. And I think it's also quite important to understand a bit about how rulings are arrived at.
It's a very broad topic lah.
Yeah, it's a broad
about
topic.
the four mazahib and how they are formed and
but
what they
think,
prioritize.
Yeah, but I think generally Muslims have to know where our guidance comes from.
Yeah.
Where the rulings come from, and how do we handle the different approaches, the different terms that strong, weak hadith, mutawatir hadith, even the Quran. How do you interpret these things and so on? Yeah, so I think at the outset we can all agree that the Quran is the authentic word of Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala, brought to us by Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, and generally, not generally, yes, everything in the Quran is true.
But not everything is mentioned in the Quran.
That's the thing. So I think that's where when you hear sometimes people say things, but it's not in the Quran. This thing about this, for example, let's say you cannot shave your eyebrows. That's not in the Quran. And then they take it as whether something is allowed or not depends on what the Quran has to say about it.
No, but then I think dia macam this one is another broad topic on, maybe we can do another episode on how this four mazahib is formed.
That one is about mazahib lah, but I'm talking about generally the knowledge.
Kira macam mazahib is how rulings are derived lah,
I know.
what they prioritize.
Yeah, I think generally when people say this is not in the Quran, it's not a very credible way of justifying or unjustifying a ruling. Kan? Macam you cannot just say because it's not there, therefore I'm allowed to do it, that kind of thing. So I think that's one thing that's quite important for Muslims to know, that the Quran is sent primarily not to contain every single instruction there is, but it's primarily a source of guidance.
It's meant to be concise lah, for a reason. Yeah.
Okay. So how do they arrive at the different kinds of rulings? Like for example someone would argue the fact that solat zuhur is 4 rakats, that's not in the Quran, right? So how do you know that this is the way things are done? And
ada
of course
hadith also kan, ada hadith, ada stories, ada.
So would you say most of these things are from hadith?
Yeah, I would say so.
I mean there are clear sahih hadith about solat and all
And
that.
hadith pun ada narration, ada weak hadith, ada strong hadith, and
this I hear this term used quite a lot, strong hadith and weak hadith.
Yeah.
But if you look at the Arabic, right, I'm not sure if weak and strong are equivalent translations of the word da'if and all that lah. Pasal I think in English the word weak
ada negative connotation.
Yeah, there's a negative connotation associated with it.
That's a problem.
Yeah, but there is still a probability that a weak hadith could still be sound, right?
Yeah,
and it depends on your methodology of grading the hadith and what the hadith.
That's why macam there are different school of thoughts and there are different scholars yang like you can see one hadith kan, it is said to be sahih for one scholar and weak for another scholar, and rejected by another scholar and accepted by another scholar. So I think what is beautiful in this is the scholars they accept each other as scholars. So macam they don't macam bantai each other or like macam don't listen to them, astaghfirullahalazim ni macam kafir ke apa kan, tak ada. They respect each other punya school of thoughts.
No, I think wait, going back to that, there's also this it can also be the case, right, that there are two different opinions and they're both valid in Islam. Yeah. So I mean
that's the point lah. Actually macam,
so there's an appreciation of diversity contained within the various
and
rulings.
there's actually a beauty in it. There's a beauty in the differences, and we Muslims as a student of knowledge, we should embrace that diversity. Yeah.
Okay, I backtrack a bit lah. In the first place, right, so we know hadith. Okay, hadith refers to the words of Rasulullah Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Okay, so there is apparently a grading system of hadith, right? Maybe not apparently, there is clearly a grading system of hadith.
Yeah.
And if you try to question why is the grading system necessary in the first place? Right? Why
To ensure that it is authentic lah.
No, so why can't you just say this is authentic and this is not? Like what is the purpose of actually having a grading system to grade the quality of the hadith?
Okay, actually kan, let's start with Imam Maliki.
Okay,
Imam Malik kira the school of thought for Maliki.
Okay.
He was based in Madinah tau.
Okay.
So he prioritized because he lived there and Rasulullah SAW and his companions and tabi'in and all the bawah-bawah all the ancestors descendants were all from Madinah. So he felt that macam whatever that they do is true, so I will follow.
Wait.
Wait. I'm going to the question. Okay, so and then Imam Shafi'i is the student of Imam Malik. Okay. So Imam Shafi'i is the one yang macam no lah. Like if the I cannot just follow, like just because someone did this I cannot just follow. I want to ensure that is it true that betul-betul Rasulullah did this? Is there anyone yang
you're still not answering the question.
What?
My question is, why is the grading system necessary?
Why is it?
So your answer should be, kalau why kan, your answer should be because Because
oh my god, don't make me sound so stupid.
Tak, macam if I ask you why do you need the system? I mean,
to ensure that the hadith is authentic.
And why do we need to do that?
Yeah, because we don't want people to use hadith, especially weak hadith, to do a ruling out of it, to use it as a hujjah, to use it as a point tau, macam to prove a point, tak boleh. Every hadith narration ada sanad tau. Okay. So
we take this slowly. So your answer to the question, why do we need to grade hadith, is, from what I gather from what you say, is because you want to decide whether to use the hadith in a particular ruling or not. And so primarily what I gather from here is that this is a subject for people who make laws, right? This is for legislation, this is for legal rulings, this is for fatwa, right? So when they make fatwas, we have to justify the fatwa by looking at things like hadith, the sources, the analogy, the analogy, they call it qiyas, right? Analogical reasoning. And because you use a particular hadith and the hadith is sound and hasan or sahih, it gives greater weight to the ruling.
Yes.
Right? Correct. So from what I hear you say is that when there's a classification, it is a bit easier for the scholars and the jurists to decide what is the hukum of such and such. Right? Correct? Okay, then in that case, then what is the use of the
weak hadith?
So when you grade something as weak, what is the implication? In other words, what is the use? And I also want to know how they arrive at the ruling of weak.
Okay.
In other words, sorry. What does it mean to be weak?
Yeah. So what does it mean to be weak kan? Weak hadith doesn't mean that macam in English kan kita ada when we say something is weak, there's a negative connotation in English. But it's not that case tau. Okay? Weak hadith kan, how they come about with that case. Every hadith there's a chain, there's a sanad. Okay? So kira one hadith tu siapa yang narrate. So from this person to this person, from this person to this person, all the way until Rasulullah SAW.
Okay.
So every single person, they will check like the person's not only credibility, the carelessness, the mindfulness, and also the ilmu, like how he carry himself. Macam just because someone saw this man, one of the men minum dengan tangan kiri, for example.
Okay.
Minum dengan tangan kiri.
Okay. So that is like enough justification to say that
minum terus.
So macam okay, let's get this straight Sort out.
Okay, wait. I'm habis. So just because someone saw that this person minum dengan tangan kiri, itu je dah boleh enough reason to tak masukkan that hadith into the hasan punya category. Because there's that's a state of mindfulness lah. And then kalau macam dia macam ada tersalah ke, careless ke kan, when he narrates something he was careless and or he's a liar, for example.
Or he's known to be a liar.
Maybe kalau not liar lah. Maybe not liar. Liar is a very strong word. Maybe macam not careful with his words to the point that it gives a different, macam kira not careful with his words lah, basically.
Okay, so this thing about sanad. Okay, so the translation of sanad is a chain of narration, right? So Rasulullah SAW said something. One of the sahabas recorded it.
Yeah.
This sahaba, known to be a good man, everything is his good memory, sound person, told another sahaba.
Yeah.
Who told another sahaba, or not sahaba anymore lah. Who told somebody, who told someone.
Yeah.
And when you collect the hadith, you examine and you trace back the chain of narration from this person, who he heard it from, who he heard it from.
And dorang not only see the ilmu of that person, they see the adab also. Like I say just now kan, minum dengan tanya. So if you mock someone ke, so dia tak ada macam orang ni ada PhD, orang ni ada degree, ada masters, tak. Dia tengok the level of piety, the level of taqwa of each person.
Okay, and then if everybody in that chain of narration
is sound,
the imam would grade, okay, this is a sahih hadith.
Yeah.
Or this is a Hasan hadith.
Yeah.
If let's say one person is known to have done something that's perhaps not that correct, like drinking with the left hand, for example, then that is reason for the hadith to be graded as weak. Not to introduce the English connotation of weak, like weakest link, weak is always a negative term, but it's basically a description of the strength. And it's less strong than what it could be.
Yeah.
There is still a probability that it is correct.
Yeah.
But it's just a grading. It's like a numerical score.
Yeah, that's why our attitude towards we as student of knowledge kan, our attitude towards weak hadith should be correct lah. This is one of my teachers. She said that our attitude towards weak hadith should not be we accept fully to the point that we use it as a hujjah. We use it as a point to prove a ruling.
To make a legal ruling, okay.
Tak boleh.
Okay.
Because there's a possibility that it's wrong, that it didn't happen, kan? But the contrary is also true. Our attitude towards weak hadith cannot be we reject fully. We kecam orang siapa yang use weak hadith, semua kita kecam.
Because there's a possibility that it's true.
Because there's a possibility that it's true. Because you imagine if you dah kecam this hadith, reject this hadith totally, and then on the day of judgment you found out that the story actually happened. Kan macam paiseh. Okay, paiseh is one, dosa is also one.
Paiseh is the least of the concerns on the day of judgment.
No lah, I mean on the day of judgment you dah kecam publicly and then alamak found out it's actually true. Paiseh lah.
No. Yalah, but that's not okay, never mind.
Yalah, I mean it's wrong also, and it will have an effect on your akhirah also.
But okay, so that's if you want to make a legal ruling, then you have to make sure that it is completely strong. So and then like what you said lah, just be careful. Don't be quick to condemn a hadith or say anything negative about it. Even though the word in English is a negative word, or carries a negative connotation, for the lack of a better term in English, maybe. Yeah, so it's a grading. And there's a specific use for it. So what is the weak hadith supposed to be used for? If it's not to be used
for legal ruling.
For serious legal rulings.
Yeah, so macam for example kan, that time kita ada use a weak hadith but then Imam Al-Ghazali also included in his Ihya Ulumuddin lah. It's mentioned in Ihya Ulumuddin, and any
wait. The Ihya is also a formulation of legal rulings, right? There are some
but that specific hadith he didn't use it as a legal ruling. He just take the benefits. Okay, what benefits that we can take from this hadith?
Okay.
Ihya Ulumuddin is not for legal ruling lah. It's more for like the heart.
Oh, okay. I see. It's for I see. It's not. It's not a book of so-called. It's not a book of law. It's a book of guidance. And
okay, so anyway.
But just for context, in this hadith, it was said that the woman was left at home. The husband went out. Or went to war or something. So she was not allowed, as in the husband told her to just stay until he comes back. And she wanted to go downstairs
and he didn't know whatever that happened to the wife because there's no WhatsApp, right, last time. And when the husband go to war, it's a very long period of time lah, like months.
So she wanted to go and see her sick father downstairs, and it was said that when she sent for Rasulullah to ask his permission, Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the answer was no. You stay where you are. Right? So that's the context.
Yeah, and then after that, because they obey to the husband, then Rasulullah gave news that Allah forgave all the Palestinians.
It was said lah, Rasulullah gave news that. So that's what the story is, and I think there are lessons that could be learned from here. In particular, certain specific acts of devotion.
So, Imam Al-Ghazali included this hadith in his Ihya Ulumuddin, and any student of knowledge would know that Ihya Ulumuddin is a credible source. But I do saw
credible sources.
Yes, most credible source. I don't know if anyone out there would say that they are more thorough than Imam Al-Ghazali, but I also do understand there are other school of thoughts yang reject this hadith.
Which is fair enough.
It's fine. But then there are so many like top scholars in Yemen, like Hubaba Zain Al-Junaid, Habib Mashhur, all use this hadith for just to tell a story. You know, just to tell a story, something that happened. It's not to do a legal ruling. So the focus shouldn't be, oh, if your father asks for you or your husband asks for you, which one should you prioritize? It's not that. That's not the focus. The focus is when she obeys the husband, there's a hidden blessing. So itu yang macam I think it's very, I don't know why, it's very hard for people to focus on the benefits instead of the legal ruling.
I think it's a question of benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, so
you know?
Macam
like no one is saying you must do this or must do that. We're not
macam
passing fatwa.
Yeah, if really the hadith really cannot be used, then Imam Al-Ghazali, this great scholar, wouldn't include it in the Ihya, because Imam Al-Ghazali is a really great scholar. Before he used there are so many hadith that are lost. So if he sees, and before he include a hadith, he would check, thorough checking. So the fact that he included it in his Ihya means he didn't see any wrong with the hadith. Yeah, it's weak, yes, but it can still be used for Fadail al-A'mal, to reap benefits from it. For me to macam be reminded, oh, like, you know, there's benefits and there's barakah in listening to the husband and obeying the husband. So this hadith is not for husbands, it's more for the wife, you know. Yeah.
No, I think also is the lah. So going back to the categorization of hadith, the grading, they serve different purposes lah. And I would say one of the purposes of using so-called weak hadith is to tell a story, to as general guidance, maybe also for things like encouragement, things like warnings and so on. So I think it should, maybe if you take a step back, I think there's another, perhaps even bigger underlying problem to this. Maybe because I was looking at it, I'm wondering, why do people assume that we are giving instructions that, you know, if your father is sick, you stay home. If your husband says stay home, and there's no two ways about it. No one's giving any instruction. And I'm thinking about it. I think the issue here is that there is a perception of Islam as a series of rules and regulations.
Correct. That's the problem.
Wait. Hang on. I haven't finished talking about the problem.
Sorry.
So I think you've got to think about it. We should maybe shift our perspective. Instead of seeing the religion as a series of rules and regulations, we see it as guidance.
Yeah.